Before we go into looking into Friday's game, we'll just look back at last weekend's game. What were your thoughts on that? You know, it was a real response to go in behind early on. It was a real good show of character from the team.
Yeah, that game against Grimsby, like the game before it against Southend, they're always going to be extremely difficult fixtures when you come up against teams that are fighting for their lives, giving absolutely everything. You have to match that, and I think we did that in spades against Grimsby. You saw James Clark bloodied, broken nosed, unwilling to walk off that pitch, or unwilling to change his attitude, and his desire epitomised what we're about at the moment, for sure. He was a real captain's performance, and he's done that since he's come back into the team. But I think you can highlight numerous cases, two centre forwards are running around with bandages on their heads when they've taken cuts in games, and again, I know from experience that they're painful. Every single time a ball comes to your head, you're wincing in pain, and you didn't see any of that from them two, running through brick walls for us. And then wider than that, I think you see real leadership performances from people like Paddy Osadebe, and when Hayden White's been in the team, obviously missed the last couple, real leaders coming to the fore at the football club. So for me, there's a real togetherness about the place, especially in the dressing room. I'm privy to both, if you like, in the role that I'm doing, so I'm privy to being able to be with the lads, and there's a real determination and desire to win football matches, to do well for the football club, to do well for themselves. There's certainly no drop in effort and no drop in determination from the lads.
Before we touch on you having a foot in both camps, almost one thing that I will touch upon there, you talk about the leaders coming to the fore. I think the young lads deserve a special mention there, you know, like Sam Perry and Tom Leake. You know, they've come into it and they've not shown a lack of desire or a lack of commitment to the team, have they?
Yeah, and I always think there's different types of leadership, and in Sam Perry's case, he's somebody he's a 19-year-old lad. He's 5 or 6 games into his EFL career, and you're seeing somebody who's taking the game by the scruff of the neck. He's willing to put his head in when he needs to put his head in, make blocks, make tackles when he needs to do that, but he's also willing to get on the football and spray passes and get us going. So leadership in that form, I think, takes on somebody who's got that desire and that courage to get on the football, and Sam's got that in spades. And then you look at somebody like Tom Leake, who's coming at let's be fair, there's times that you want to put young players in, there are times that you'd rather shield them from, and Leakey has come in at a tough time, and he's proved himself to be every inch the character we thought he was and could be. So really pleased and proud of them pair. And then you look wider than that, you know, you Liam Kinsella's, he probably goes under the radar a little bit, but we asked him to do a different job, and albeit a job which we thought and knew he could do against Grimsby, and then again he puts in another all-action performance, and one that, you know, you start looking at Kinsella and you think, geez, you know, the kid's a real leader in a different sense. So for my eyes, for my money, there are people in there that are, as I say, reiterate, determined and desperate to do well, desperate to get points on the board, desperate to win the next football match, which is always the case, and fighting all in the same direction.
And we mentioned about having a foot in both camps. How have you found that? Because again, like the manager Brian Dutton, you know, you've been thrown in almost at the deep end, moving from player coaching to an assistant manager role, but still having a real case for the team whilst you're out there on the pitch. I think you're approaching 20 starts in a row now, and what's that been like for you?
Listen, I love playing. There's no better feeling than playing, for sure. No better feeling than winning. So I want to get that back to that, and wanting to feel like you can contribute. So whilst I'm on the playing side of things, whilst I'm still able to contribute, whilst I'm not a detriment to the team, I'm more than happy and as determined as ever to win points, to take us up the table, to drive us on whenever it needs to be driven on. To be that little bit of an experienced head around the place. My body feels great, so from that perspective, all ticks in that box. I don't feel as though I'm a hindrance, if you like, which would be the main concern. So definitely don't feel like that, and really enjoying playing every week. On the other side of things, really enjoying working with the manager. What I can see that the manager wants to create is an environment of of excellence. That's where we want to get to. We want to see the best young players from around the local area. We want to see the best young players from around the country coming to Walsall Football Club and improving. That's what we're desperate to do. I think you've seen that from the youngsters that have been in the team, the youngsters that we've taken on loan, a la Tyreek Wright. We're desperate to create an environment at this football club of excellence and an identity which people come and they improve at the football club, and while they improve, we improve as well. That's what we're desperate to get to, and of course we're at the start of that journey. There are bumps in the road in any journey like that, bumps in the road in any journey where you're trying to change a culture, trying to change an environment, but we have a clear determination and clear plan of where we want to get to. Of course, we're desperate to win games along that way, need to win games along that way, and we go into the first opportunity, or the next opportunity for that on Friday. But the environment that we're trying to create is one that, as I say, I'm really enjoying working in, one that I'm desperate to improve, to keep improving. Been around football for a long time now, some 20 odd seasons or whatever it is, so I know what a good environment looks like, and I know that the one the manager's set and the one the manager wants to set and that we want to set together is one that can really, really be beneficial to Walsall Football Club, which is what we're all desperate to do and desperate to be part of.
I think it's a fair comment to say that the pair of you are rather inexperienced in terms of that side of the game, but you've both been in a football environment for, like you say, long periods of time, so you know exactly what is needed now to get that winning feeling back. Yeah,
I've been in with talking about myself, my own experience. I've played the game for a long time now, been with some exceptional managers along that journey, been with some exceptional managers when they've gone through sliding doors moments where if a ball hasn't hit the backside of a defender and gone in the back of the net, things can go one way or the other. So I know what it's all about. I've been there, I've seen that, and I've done that. But what I do always go back to is the processes that you believe in. And if we continue on our processes, continue on the path that we want to build this identity of the football club that we want it to be like, I can only see it being beneficial to the football club, to the supporters, to everybody connected with Walsall Football Club, which is all that we are desperate to do and to achieve. There's been cases over the short term of history of this football club with Dean, for example, where he went through tough spells, really tough spells, came out the other side of it and had that resilience when he did come out the other side of it, that he's improved it, and then the improvements continued. We're in a period where we need to come out the other side of it, and when we come out the other side of it, we'll hopefully see the improvements continue. And as I say, we're at the start of this journey. There are tough periods on any journey, but it's one that I really feel excited for building towards the future. And you mentioned another opportunity coming up now. I've got Harrogate at home on Friday. It presents a good opportunity for us to pick up a first win and a home win as well. But like we always say, it doesn't matter where teams are in the table, it's always going to be a difficult game, isn't it? Yeah. I've never yet been part of a football match in however many I've played where the opposition have rolled over and just allowed you to tickle their bellies and win the game. It doesn't happen. It's an opportunity, is what it is, like every single game we've played and every single game we will play from now to the end of the season. It's an opportunity at home to get the win, to be moving forward, etc, etc. But one thing's for sure, those lads in the Harrogate dressing room will be eyeing up their next fixture and desperate to do well for themselves. So it will be a tough game, one we need to rise to the challenge, to show all of those determination things, all of the grit, the desire to run forward, to run back, to tackle, to head, all of that sort of stuff. Need to show that in spades on Friday, and if we do that, we give ourselves an opportunity. And when we've spoken after games and before them as well, we talk about building on performances. The last two performances away from home, they are performances now that this team can go and build on, aren't they? Yeah, the baseline for again throughout my career, the baseline has always been work as hard as you possibly can do, protect your goal as best as you can do as a defender, protect your goal as best as you can do, and when the opportunities come your way, try and take them. We're doing better at protecting our goal as best as we can do. Clean sheet against Southend suggests that, and then a strange, unfortunate goal against Grimsby that can sometimes happen. But we have to set that baseline of being really difficult to beat and then showcase our stuff thereafter of that. But I'll go back to it. It's going to be a tough fixture, a really tough game, as is the one on Monday, and we have to give that starting point of being really resilient, really tough to beat, really determined, and then hopefully look forward to our attacking players come to a party.